I'm sorry, too zesty for you?
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
All right, so episode number 89.
89. And you know what? It's only a few episodes away. We're going to make some more announcements.
Oh, we got announcements.
Yeah. We got 5 trade paperbacks
Uh-huh.
that we're going to give away for episode 100
Really?
in one title. That's just in one title. 5 in one title. We're not going to reveal the title right now. We got another fabulous independent book. We got a Vertigo book. Another independent book that's even signed from New York Comic Con.
Ooh.
And a bunch of random shit. We're going to give away a lot of stuff for episode 100. You've got 11 episodes to go. Get it in. We'll announce it. We'll send you some free books. All you got to do, tweet us occasionally, say you heard about it, drop some Facebook comments.
Enter a name in, and then we'll draw from those names.
We won't even draw. It'll be the first 5. It'll be the first 5.
Well, then no
which
one will
will
go
be
after.
all of you. So you've all got an equal chance of getting stuff. How about that?
Come on, people.
Anyone who's been on the podcast, however, is exempt.
Ooh, tricky.
So that's right, Mr. Marketing Analyst. You don't count.
So who does that take out?
That's right, Dave. You don't count. Andrew, Kurt, Victor Warhammer.
Me.
None of you count.
I don't
You
count.
definitely don't count.
Ow. I thought I counted.
Not in this context. In this one isolated, tiny little way, you don't count, okay? You count every other way, because you count so much. You're so important to the cast, dude. Just let us know you've ever heard the goddamn podcast,
I mean,
and we'll
honestly,
give you something.
How many times do you get free shit in this day and age?
Yeah, John knows about it. We'll even give him stuff again, too.
Julio.
No, Julio doesn't count. He's my boss.
So? He's
doesn't-
never been on the podcast?
So? He doesn't leave any feedback either.
Well, he might if he could get some free shit out of it.
I don't think he'd even read it. That's the other thing.
Well, then herein lies the challenge.
Getting him to actually read it. Some of the stuff I plan to get... Never mind.
If it gets if it gets fired,
How about a bumper sticker? Would you like one of those? Mean Geek bumper stickers? How about a t-shirt? We got some of them too. Just let us know you exist and we will hook you the fuck up, yo! We gonna give you stuff up in this motherfucker. No? You don't like that?
terrible.
No?
Absolutely terrible.
Alright, well, how about some Punisher by Rucka then? How about that?
All right.
Promising, but I don't think we really need the new Vulture in there.
I was so I mean, so you've got the Punisher. First off, Rucka, because Rucka is a smart guy, he starts writing the Punisher in a different way.
Right.
So the Punisher tracks one guy and keeps tracking him from villain hidey hole to villain hidey hole, and then killing all the scumbags within, till they recognize this and kill him themselves.
Well, sure.
So that's just
That's pretty smart.
Right? And it's Punisher-like, it's Rucka-like, so that works. Then you've got upscale yuppie crime lords talking about how pretty each other is with the guy and the girl, and that's, you can't wait to see them get blown up. And then they bring in this stupid, red, creepy, acid vomiting vulture.
Yeah, I didn't understand why. I'm guessing that they're making this book
In the Marvel Universe.
As opposed to the Max stuff, where he was largely by himself, even though it's still New York and all the rest of the story is the same. He just apparently never had any interaction with superheroes.
Right. But I got no problem with superheroes being in the book. First off, I hate this stupid vulture thing to begin with.
Yeah, he can't speak.
No, he can say kill.
Horts.
Yeah.
He can say it
Horts. It horts him when he gets stabbed with a knife, which happens 45 times in issue 3. Literally, I'm sorry.
Who but Frank would stab the guy who's carrying him flying?
Non-stop stabbing. Like, there are entire pages of just stabbing.
There are,
acid.
dude. There's like
it was a
5
rough read.
pages in the row doing that.
And then you got the team of cops playing 7 with the older, wiser, and the younger new cop. You've got the reporter getting the haircut. What the hell is going on in this book? But then again, I mean, this is what I was talking about. Rucka's immediately developing a background cast.
Yes, which is good.
Which the Punisher needs, too,
He
because
really
otherwise,
does.
it's just misery and criminals.
There's been, Microchip and a couple of cops.
You had Microchip's son who got killed.
Yeah. And then other than that, he has no hangers-on at all, ever. And it's kind of...
That's not true.
weird.
If you look at Eurohit, you had all those European Punisher clones.
That totally didn't last beyond that arc.
Well, of course it didn't, because it was horrible.
Well, yeah, that was... The Eurohit was like... I don't
When I
believe-
sold you my collection, you literally went through the Punisher and pulled one out and like, did you sell me a Eurohit?
I don't remember doing that, but I believe you. Killing me. But I dig it. And it's Rucka, and I trust him. And
I think
we're
Rucka
gonna
writes
see
the Punisher
good
well.
shit out of that.
I do think Rucka writes a Punisher well. I think it's a good choice. I just want this to start moving a little more in a Punisher way and away from, say, said Vulture.
Well, I mean, it looks like Vulture's not going to last.
No, it looks like it. But literally, like, issue 3, there was so much stabbing.
But there is a logical
Explanation.
Excuse me. No, escalation to this. Because we've seen his fairly standard interaction with superheroes in other books long before the 90s.
Oh, I have no problem with superheroes and
No,
supervillains.
I'm moving forward,
Okay,
really.
all right. I'm waiting for your brilliance.
And we've seen his hyper gritty Ennis stage. My
Right.
nose is starting to plug up here. Where no superheroes existed, nobody could stand up to him in any fashion.
Right.
Barracuda had a chance, but of course Frank is the star of the book, so Barracuda really didn't have a chance.
You know, it's actually my biggest problem with Ennis.
Yeah?
Well, I'll let you finish, then I'll go into that.
Okay, well, remember it. But if they're going to bring him semi back into the 616, then eventually he is going to wreak so much havoc that, like the mobsters in Dark Knight, they're going to escalate it with another maniac.
Right.
So bringing in a vulture, I would prefer it was Tombs, rather than Horch. We don't even have a name for this guy yet. We don't know who he is yet.
Well, we don't know who he was yet.
Well, okay, yeah, we don't know who he was.
Because he just got filleted midair.
Pretty much. But it makes sense for the criminals who he is wiping out left and right constantly, finally bucking down and trying to get somebody who might match him. Rather than just being, all mobster pride. We can do this shit on our own, man. He's only a fucking guy.
Right.
It does make sense to that degree. I just really hope they don't overdo it.
I just don't want anybody else like the Vulture, acid spitting and the Punisher. Like, he doesn't fight mutants generally.
No.
The Punisher Toad miniseries wasn't a big hit, so
There was no Punisher Toad miniseries. Kids, don't go out. Don't go out to Mile High and try to pick up the Punisher Toad miniseries. You won't find it. You gotta be kidding me.
All right, but getting back to my Ennis point.
Yes.
Ennis has this tendency to go on any kind of book, whether creator owned or not, and destroy whatever he creates. So, as much as I enjoy him as a writer, he's literally leaving no legacy to comics in a sense. Like, I know that sounds odd because, like, Preacher is an amazing book, but
there's nothing anybody can really do to follow up on
No one else is going into
characters that aren't his.
Right. No one is going in there and like, hey, let's go play in the Punisher, the
Ennis verse.
Right. No one's going to be like, hey, I'd like to write a Preacher sequel.
And who's done Hitman since?
Nobody. He's dead. He killed every character.
Exactly. I'm reasonably...
Except Hacken.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He killed almost everything he introduced in The Demon.
That's right. You're right.
He killed everything he introduced in Punisher.
Yeah, so they have to start a new series once he's gotten around to it.
He likes this scorched earth thing where whatever he creates is pretty much self-contained or destroyed. Like he's written a Batman miniseries, but the villain, he did that Thor Vikings.
Right. Which I never finished.
Right, but he did that. He created that.
I have him set aside at the shop.
Do you really?
Yeah. But he also... Keep going.
He created the villain for the Spider-Man mini that he did, the first few issues of that alternate world one, but
why is
he
there some
killed that guy
jackass in full plate in the hallway of an apartment building?
No idea. But he's literally... Nothing he's created has lasted beyond the issues he was in.
Well,
Hulk Smash?
Nothing he's worked on. Or created, really.
Yeah.
We'll see about Crossed. Crossed is his, right?
Crossed is apparently other people played. To be fair, that's the one thing, but that's that shared universe that no one. That's apparently intently insane.
Yeah, I don't want to read the fucking thing. I listen.
Even that, all he's sharing is the concept, the characters and whatnot. I don't know if they're carrying over or not.
I don't know. I've heard some podcasts talk about it, and then that's where I pretty much left it alone. But we got some more tweets, so let's talk about Unwritten and move forward with those.
Okay.
Unwritten, number 30. On to Genesis, conclusion. The Day of the Tinker. The Tinker comes to full-fledged life by the magic of literary fiction magic.
The magic of literary fiction magic. You're an idiot.
If you parse out the sentence properly, it works. I just said parse out loud.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're largely done with backstory except for Tommy's father's birth.
Well, you've also got to reveal that the Tinker and Tommy Tyler are brothers.
Right.
You have the reappearance of the Frankenstein monster.
Right.
Then you have the Tinker who goes off to hell a la Orpheus, which either leads to an Unwritten miniseries or a very creepy Tinker down the line. And then it ends on the seriously fucked up slaughter of every person that has ever met Tommy or his dad.
And that is a frightening level of length that these guys will go to in the Unwritten cabal to keep things the way they want them.
Like, seriously, how do you cope with going on a computer and finding out, oh, hey, your last 8 girlfriends have all been murdered last night?
Yeah.
Like, awkward.
Really, really bad.
Like, so, I love this book. I mean, for a while there, it was losing me a little bit because it was getting so convoluted. But now they're pulling the strings back together while staying convoluted, which is making it awesome.
While staying convoluted, which is awesome.
Well, because they're not simplifying anything, but it's making more sense.
And that is
I guess
good
that's
stuff.
where
that's
there
perfect.
was definitely a couple issues where I'm like, what is
covers
going
it
on?
right on.
But
that's a very good way to put it.
Yeah, but at the time, there's definitely in the mid-20s a couple issues where I'm like, what the fuck?
I was really concerned about where they were going to go for a while there. I was enjoying every panel of it, but I just couldn't see what was going to happen.
Nope, it's a great read. It's a kind of book that you can easily, somebody wants to get into smarter comics. You have a Sandman fan doesn't know what to read.
Start.
This is Unwritten is the current Why the Last Man. It's a smart, thinky book that you can pass on to people easily.
Yep. And all this crazy activity by the Cabal has finally galvanized Tommy to get up off his ass and take it to them.
Yep. So I can't wait for the next one, which you've just read, I believe.
Is now going to irritate me, however, because it's going twice a month for 6 issues.
Really?
Yep. The next one is actually 30.5.
And then it goes to 31.5. Well, that's different.
Up to like 31 then.
And,
on some kind
with
of
all the
schedule.
things that are happening in Marvel and DC, there's a lot of .5s and...
Yeah. And I can see... I think they just want to get the arc over with so they can move on to bigger and more fertile fields.
I don't know. I mean, it does have something of a marketing gimmick, but not a terrible one.
Sure.
All right, so you said we got more tweets.
We do, and there's a lot of them, and they're all from Indigo again. So, thanks,
Sweet.
guy, pal, person. Bendis is finally done with his 8-year stint on Avengers, which got me thinking, what are your thoughts on creators being on books for multiple years at a time? I'm thinking Peter David on X Factor. Well, I got to correct you right there, Indigo. He was on Hulk a lot longer.
Well, I mean, he was on X Factor twice.
Yes.
And his original run was a lot of fun.
Yes.
His return run I didn't really follow because I was totally out of the mutant universe by that point.
Jeff Johns on GL.
It's phenomenal.
A good long run. 70 some odd by now if you count one-shots. Right? So that's quite impressive.
Okay. What else does he bring up?
Peter David. Bendis on USM. Whatever the hell that is. What's USM, dude?
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, 170 issues now.
Nice save.
160 some odd issues now.
Edit at.
No, totally not. He's really wondering, is that great? Is it good, bad, mediocre? I think that kind of length generates a consistency of character and plot and continuity that is very difficult to find with somebody who sticks around for a trade and then says, well, yeah, I was thinking Green Lantern now. I was thinking Guy Gardner. I'm done with Cap. Do you think I should go to...
I'm going to respectfully agree and disagree with you.
Oh, of course you are.
But
that's what you do.
But I'm also going to use your own words back at you because the thing is, you're absolutely right. I think longer runs are better. I do think if you put more time into a book, you get to develop more. I don't think necessarily we're talking about the difference between a graphic and 1 to 2 years versus 8. Because what you're forgetting is that when you spend 8 years on a book, yeah, you get some phenomenal things. But I'm going to refer to many podcasts ago when we talked about Cap and Mark Gruenwald.
Yes. There are, on longer runs, there is the potential to fade, and there is the potential to just take a bit of a chance and utterly bomb.
And as much as we respect Mark Gruenwald, and as a podcast, we've openly said many times,
oh yes,
how we feel about Mark.
Absolutely. Listen to the old episodes, you'll see.
But you get Capwolf, you do stay on, and Peter David, like the end of the Hulk. Now, admittedly, it was a bitter Peter David at that point.
Yes,
but it was also awful.
It was not up to previous standards at that point. You definitely risk burnout and mediocrity. It totally depends on, you can have a passion for the character, but even that may fade. But in an effort to, just make progress, you can take bad forks.
Right.
Even if it's not horrible, it may not be consistent with what you yourself have created before. So I like to see. I mean, we got to keep talking about the king of long runs in Chris fucking Claremont.
Well, I mean, Claremont only
he was there like 18, 20
but that's
years.
The one book. And the thing with that is that Claremont so developed so many ideas that he's never fully captured anyone's imagination with anything else.
No.
I mean, you can make an argument for Excalibur, but that was kind of simultaneous.
Yeah.
So it's a different concept. The idea that you can take so many things, and what Bendis has done with the Avengers and making it not only pertinent but core again,
right,
is amazing.
Yes.
And he's done that, but at the same time, we were just literally in the last episode lambasting him for going to the same characters.
Yeah, we absolutely were.
In 8 years, they fought the Hood 2,000 times? Is it really 8 years?
It's 8 years, man.
God damn, that's amazing.
Are we done with that?
So, yeah, I think, overall, I think longer arcs are better, but there's nothing wrong with somebody coming in, nailing one storyline and leaving.
Right.
And for me,
well, Brad Meltzer's done that. He's walked in.
I was actually going to go, well, go ahead. You were talking about Justice League.
Yeah,
so to speak.
he's done stints on Justice League. He did Identity Crisis.
Right.
And then he
That's
walked
what
off. You know? So, I mean, obviously you weren't going to have an Identity Crisis ongoing, but it was short, and he wandered off.
For me, the pinnacle of that would be Warren Ellis on Iron Man doing Extremis.
Yeah.
Which opened new ideas, new thoughts, one huge storyline. And it wasn't huge in terms of Iron Man overall, but in what it brought to the book and what you could suddenly build out of it.
It's potential and its future impact.
Yeah,
I mean,
jumped in, fired
the
out.
Extremis storyline itself wasn't exactly amazing, but you nailed it right there. It brought in awesome concepts and ways to go that didn't exist previously.
That's still playing to the book to this day.
Yep.
Although we had a huge debate about how that didn't matter not too long ago. But the fact that you're agreeing with me now says something. But yeah, overall, I prefer people to spend more time on a book. But
Right.
I do think it's a good idea to know when to walk away. And sometimes walking away before it's a good time is better than waiting till past.
Oh, absolutely. If you can say, you know what, that was a damn good run. I'm gonna go do
Wait on
Guardians
Cap.
of the Galaxy now.
No, you should never say that.
Wait on Cap. Yes, he got out ahead of the game. He didn't get himself all in a tussle about which direction to take. He just said, those were some good issues. I'll figure something else out now.
But then you can also disagree. Like, I think Wade on Flash never should have gone back, whereas you enjoyed the Wade Augustin issues from the second run.
Yeah. Those weren't quite as amazing, though. They were quality, absolutely, but it wasn't like... It was like two different brands of Apple, really. It was Macintosh and Granny's, whatever. Let's go forward. That analogy
Granny's.
wasn't working.
You and your Apple analogies.
Okay, Andrew's back, and he wants to know another 12-year-old question.
Oh, good.
Namor and Aquaman. Who wins? Well, Namor pitches. Oh, wait, we're back to that. No, that's not it. Stop. Have we ever been told which...
Namor wins.
Namor wins because
Namor wins hands
he's more
down.
ruthless. He's
Namor
more
is the
brutal.
king of all dickheads.
That's very good. Atlantis is filled with dickheads to begin with. He's their king.
All right, it's like, Atuma, you seem like an ass, but I've met Namor, so would you like to come over for cookies? No.
Would you like to come over for cookies?
There's your title.
That? Oh my god.
But the fact of the matter is, I'm sorry, there's nothing that Aquaman can do that Namor wouldn't do first and in tighty whities. So, no, Namor wins. Aquaman, call the fish. Plus, he can fly with his stupid little ankle wings.
Yeah, Arthur Curry can't fly, which is a huge bonus. All he's got to do is dive bomb the motherfucker, headbutt him, and say, Imperious Rex, bitch!
Nope. But at least he doesn't have a hook anymore.
Yeah, there's that much. And there's a good long run for Peter David, huh?
Well, you know what? That was the first thing after Hulk. Like, sometimes, the other thing is from a creator standpoint, walking away where you still have creativity, like, trying to jump into somebody else and challenge it differently.
Yeah. I'm with you. We're done with tweets for the moment.
All right.
This one...
Which one is that?
This is Kick-Ass 2.
Number 4.
Number 4. It starts out pretty reasonable. We get a little glimpse of Mindy being regretful about not being a superhero.
I like
anymore.
that Hit Girl was like, why did you make me so damn, important to follow the rules?
That was nice. And even the conversation the ersatz superheroes had in the basement was okay.
They suck.
And then motherfucker and his bitches just get 90 kinds of brutal that I can no longer handle.
Yeah, well, I mean, Millar is that guy.
I'm not lying. I cannot handle just how fucking far this particular issue went. And I am done with Kick-Ass.
Really?
I'm finished.
Because the next issue is in my pile to read.
Is it? Because I don't remember even buying the fucking thing. I ain't buying 3. Let's say that.
All right, so you're finishing this storyline, but you would not go another one.
Yeah.
Well, here's my note. The motherfucker gets eviler and rapey.
And if it would have been easier, emphasis on the
Without the rape.
without the gang part of it.
You know what? I really don't have a lot of time for rape. I will say...
Well, that's why I phrased it the way I did.
Yeah, Millar draws lines and writes a certain way, so be it. I think most of his creativity is off the charts. His inability to tone it down, if you will, has worked for him in the past. You loved Wanted, you loved the first Kick-Ass.
Which had hardcore moments of their own.
But what's happened since is he's carrying it further and further. Superior, I think, is amazing. I think there's some really creative writing going on.
Yeah, Superior has held my attention, and it has not made me like literally fucking shiver with
Illness.
moral revulsion.
Yes, but Nemesis was appalling.
Nemesis, if that had lasted any more issues, I wouldn't have bought them.
And the thing is, this is toned down from Nemesis. But Millar is that guy, and he's got every right to be.
That issue. 5 isn't too bad, but
I thought you didn't remember 5.
Well, I mean, that right there is a bonus because it obviously didn't have quite the impact 4 did. So,
but the major plot point in 4 is that now Kick-Ass's dad is taking the fall for him, which leads to all sorts of horrible things down the line.
So we're going to galvanize the original superhero.
But your goal is to finish the original, to finish this Kick-Ass, but you would not follow it a second time.
A third time.
Third time. Well, no, you'd be following it a second time.
Okay, I see what you're saying. No, this series, call it even. It's over. I don't need any more of that. So let's take his other tack.
But let's
unless you got something
real
to
quick.
say.
Let's address what we have to address here, which is that after Nemesis, which was a bitter disappointment for you,
Yeah.
and Kick-Ass 2, which is equal.
It's one of the rare things that is.
Are you going to start judging really Millar different? Like, are you less likely to pick up a Millar book after those 2 back to back?
I will read.
Or is Superior throwing it off enough?
I will read reviews for future items before I purchase.
So Millar is
which
going
is something
that
I
far.
almost never fucking do.
But the thing is, that's
because I never brought you Unfunnies.
No, you said that was too vile and
that was way too horrifyingly nasty. I'm not even going to talk about it on the show. That was just too fucking much. No, fuck you.
Like, now I want to read it. Like, that's the worst part about these conversations.
I already gave it back and got a credit.
I'm not asking for it. I'm just saying, like, this conversation is actually whetting my appetite for something I won't like.
No,
so it's
that's
annoying.
Dumb. You need to put the kibosh on that right now.
Unfunnies. So you no longer own it. So that's what I'm getting you for Christmas.
No, you get me that, and I will burn it right under your tree. Right under your artificial tree with.
That's a real tree.
That ain't no artificial tree. Is it? Yeah, I guess it is, huh?
Yeah, good guess.
Well, that just means it'll go up faster. You can't
Probably
keep a tree
not.
alive. That's going to be kindling in 45 more seconds.
Christine might be Colonel Girlfriend might be able to. All right, so moving on from that to the infinitely superior for you, Superior. See there how it went there? You see what I did?
Yeah, I get it. Didn't we talk about this at some point, though?
You and I did on air, no.
Okay, so Superior is running around having a good time, and he has a date.
What I like about this is that he dominates Al-Qaeda
He just takes him right to
and then follows that up by dominating
Going to
basketball. Fuck you, LeBron.
And that's the kind of I can see a kid doing that. You know, if you put a modern 12-year-old with, disabled legs, and you just throw him this huge, potent superhero body with all these abilities, you're going to have fun. You're going to go and do crazy 12-year-old
Well, this is where Millar
shit.
excels, is looking at what would happen to superheroes in a world that's slightly more realistic.
Right.
You know, you put a superhero out there, they're going to be like, hey, do you want to play basketball against an NBA team? Sure. You know, the marketing is... He thinks about things slightly left of most comic book writers.
Yeah.
So, you've got Superior having the time of his life. Meanwhile, his little bully, Sharpie... what the hell is that? by
Yeah,
the
that's
way?
a dumbass name.
Is planning on becoming Abraxas, which is always a good name.
It's never a good name, man.
And this has the big reveal that
Well, he's confronted by, in 5, he's confronted by the little demon monkey Satan figure.
right, which actually is revealed to be a demon.
Yes.
So my ridiculously dumb name is actually accurate.
Worked right out. Like we knew. I mean, like we didn't know, that is.
Well, we really did. No one
There
knew.
were indications. You know.
So that leads us to 6.
Where he truly reveals, look, I want the soul. The souls are power. I have the ability to give you back the superior body. You know, what are you going to do? You got some time to decide. Remember you had a celebrity girlfriend. Remember that.
Yeah, but you know what? The kid first off, how crappy a demon are you that you can't find one human to sell your soul in 500 years?
Yeah, that
Like,
and yet,
you
and yet
suck.
Sharpie did it in like 35 seconds. Why didn't
Well,
you go to
Sharpie doesn't
Sharpie
sell the
first?
soul.
Huh? He doesn't what?
He doesn't sell a soul.
Oh, that's right. The bargain was make this other guy. Because
They're going to get Sharpie. That's the whole thing.
yeah.
But you know what? I've met a lot of people. If you can't corrupt one person 500 years, you suck. I used to live with a guy who bought souls just in the off chance they were valuable. I think he had 3.
Walsh. No?
Max.
Right. It wasn't much of a stretch to figure out that guy.
He purchased 3 souls, and I was like, you know what? Not getting involved in this. I don't believe in anything, but this still seems like a bad idea.
Well, you know, I'm curious how he planned to take possession, so to speak.
Theoretically, you know, if you're like, I own this one, and if you got the paperwork, maybe all you got to do is switch a name somewhere down the line.
Insanity.
And this is why, as much as you just railed against him for being vile, Millar excels is you have the build-up of this kid dealing with this issue so far beyond him. And
he
then
actually
walking
does it
away.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is amazingly well written because instead of just having that be the ending, now we're confronted with a super villain
Who has none of the compass that old Bobby Boy does. What is this kid's name?
Sharpie. Oh, the actual kid?
Yeah.
Superior. Fuck his real name. But at the end of the day, so now he's got to make a second choice after making the correct choice to begin with.
Well, the second choice is being forced out of him, and the demon monkey Satan figure set it up that way.
Right. But what I'm saying is this is some clever writing.
Yes.
And that's why I'm always drawn to Millar, despite, some vulgar excesses. Although, are they really that much worse than some of the Ennis ones you've enjoyed? Just with less humor.
the absurd. There are a lot of. Well, this is why I won't read Crossed, because in Preacher he did some crazy shit, but it was all based straight up from the beginning in absurdity.
How do you figure it?
Going to take it up the chalky starfish? How is that not supposed to be absurdly humorous?
It's still rape.
Yeah, but it's couched in very different terms. And it's only one guy at a time. And it's not a teenage girl.
See, I think the fact that Millar writes a slightly more realistic way bothers you, but
well, that's why the word absurd is very important here.
But at the end of the day, you know, what you're saying is, as long as the rape is funny, I'm okay with it, which is actually a much more terrifying.
Not just funny. Absurd. No, there's humor. You know, the Peanuts is humorous, okay? But Monty Python is absurd.
Yeah, but I don't think Preacher was necessarily absurd.
It was so far over the top, it could have been nothing else.
But that's all Ennis. But there were also very non-absurd moments in Preacher, and some of them...
And they almost... not almost. They often were the payoffs to incredibly evil people getting their due.
But you're forgetting some of the things that happened to Tulip in that book.
That's why I said often.
But what I'm saying is you didn't have a problem with some of the wretched things that happened to her. What Cassidy did to her, for example.
No, of course I got a big problem with what Cassidy did to her.
Yes,
Who said that? No. Don't act like I approved of that shit.
I didn't in any way. But what I'm saying is you still enjoyed that book despite those things.
I enjoyed watching her pull him out of the hotel room and leave him burning under a truck.
Well, perhaps that'll happen in Kick-Ass.
The whole time I was reading that, I was like, when the fuck is she going to wake up and kill his ass? When is she going to mutilate him for all this? Pay him back. Get him down where he belongs. He thinks he's riding high right now. And that's clearly not proper.
Well, I think the major issue, and you're not going to like this statement, but I think it's true, is because you're a moral human being, and I know, what you're saying on one level, but I think the real issue you're having with the Millar books is that they're miniseries as opposed to building series in part. So you have more dark moments per capita, if you will. But on top of that, particularly in both Nemesis and Kick-Ass 2, there haven't been enough strong positive moments to offset them.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily anything's darker per se. But even in the first Kick-Ass, like Kick-Ass 2 hasn't been a lot of fun so far.
Not at all, really.
And Nemesis, creative, awful, yes, but fun, no. It really wasn't. Preacher, for all of its horribleness, and there's probably more per capita horribleness in Preacher. Like, think about the little kids and the midget and the...
Yeah, at Jesus Desade's joint.
Exactly. But...
but they paid for it.
Well, I think we can safely assume everyone will pay for it in Kick-Ass.
Well, at this rate, maybe they will and maybe they won't.
But that's the thing. I think it's more about the fact that Kick-Ass 2 hasn't been fun yet.
I don't think it's going to be.
Well, who knows? But the fact of the matter is it's so concentrated.
How could you turn this around and make it fun?
Hey, look at Jesus Desade and think about the aspects of that. If you can find a way to enjoy that, or even the Naked City storyline, the second storyline.
Oh, the serial killer.
Yeah,
one. That was a straight up 7.
Dude,
I mean, that was.
They cut off the man's scrotum and mailed it to his wife. That is not a 7.
Well, that's not that far off from any other cut off a body part moment.
It's very off. Very. Over in Superman, they mail a finger.
Right,
no.
We got to move on. We're almost cleaning out our second hour already. Now, I think we're done with that. So
Yeah, I think we've hit it
let's
pretty...
go forward. I mean, what the hell else could we cover with that? Bendis and Bagley's brilliant.
All right.
Which sounds like something fucking Stan Lee thought up.
Now.
Yes.
Here's the thing. We've got college geniuses manufacturing themselves as superheroes.
Right.
That's it. Like, that's literally, that one line is everything that happens in this issue other than some, like, you know, infighting at a party. Not superhero infighting, but, like, bitchy cattiness. Yes. I'm intrigued, but that's it. Like, there's not enough happening. I'm happy to see them back together outside of Spider-Man, you know, because they work well together.
Right.
But there's not enough in this book. It's like that Morning Glories. You brought the number 1, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe it's a slow burn because this did not grab me at all, really.
I think, you know, the concept intrigues me enough to see another one, but I'm not excited by what's happening here where I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, I'm more interested in Takio, really. The ad in the back for the Oming one.
Well, that's because your love of Oming.
A huge sequence at the party that bored me to tears.
It's just it's a filler one and a filler start issue. I get why, because they're building up slowly.
Right.
You know, this seems like if it's going to be a great book, it seems like the kind of thing where you want to read 3 or 4 of the first ones together and be like, okay, now I need to know. I can see it building to a point where I'm excited because Scarlet did.
Right. Finally.
Yeah, like when we started Scarlet, we're like, fuck.
Yeah. What did we really get ourselves into a book this boring?
Fuck a doodle doo. But by now, I'm like, okay, what's going to happen next?
Right. Because now it's interesting. But I don't think number 2 is out yet. So we'll see. Yeah. Maybe we'll stop by Sarge's. All right. We're back to the one DC book in this whole string.
Well, that was an accident.
Because that was just how it turned out in the pile. Batgirl number 2. We have The Mirror.
I hate The Mirror.
Really? Because a lot of people are considering that a great new villain. And I don't understand why. I'm not saying yet that he's bad, but I don't see what anyone has seen that makes them say, oh my god, that's an awesome villain.
Here we have...
I just don't see it.
War hero, heroic FBI agent, which right there, you know, day one, come on. Who watches his family burn to death in a car and then is pulled out, so he hates people who survive accidents because miracles are crap. So he dresses up as a mirror and kills people who should have died.
It almost works.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Based on comic book logic, it should work pretty well. But it reaches that one last twist where you're like, that's enough.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't flow well enough.
They added one twist too many to it.
Instead of being a Riddler, it's a Mad Hatter.
It's a vengeful asshole is what it is. And don't we have enough of them running around?
And the big reveal here really is that Batgirl is not good at being either Barbara Gordon or Batgirl.
Anymore.
Right. You know,
she's been so busy being Oracle until the Miracle, which
but
they
has she been Oracle in this storyline? There's no mention. Okay.
Yeah, she was. They established that.
Because she's dating her therapist, which is always a good plan.
It's never a good plan.
She can't dress for dates. She doesn't know how to talk to people. She can barely deal with her dad, who's finding out that she's Batgirl from... she let a cop die. Like, she keeps getting punched in the stomach and curling up like a potato bug. You know...
Potato bug.
Just things aren't going well for Barbara Gordon.
And apparently Gale already off it.
Really?
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Amazing, really.
Well, if they're getting good press for this guy for being the villain, I'm shocked that they're getting rid of the writer.
Well, I haven't read why she's leaving. I just read that she is, in fact, not going to be there after 7. So, who the fuck knows?
Which is sad, too, considering the whole female creator...
Yeah, no, I think she's just going on to a different project at DC. She's
All right,
just
well,
not,
that's good.
She's just not being with that one anymore.
I don't know. So far, Batgirl, it's a meh.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, this is only the second issue.
It's true.
I mean, we just said that, what was it? Brilliant may have to give us something else.
But the thing is...
And I was bored to tears by that party scene. I was like, God, they're yakking like fucking college kids. I don't know what a college kid yaks like, so I can't relate to this.
You've been to
I
a couple
didn't go
parties.
to fucking
You
college.
don't like them. But the other thing is, too, you could say what you will about only issue 2, but in the current economic climb, like, you need to be making an impact.
You do. You really do. And I
Yeah.
hate to say that because I used to like to give a new book 12 solid issues.
Now you're down to, let's be
6.
honest, a storyline. Possibly 4, depending on the book and the storyline.
On these DCs, I'm going 6.
Well, fair enough.
And that's it.
But in general, your rule is now, instead of being 12, which was your original rule,
Right.
it's to the end of the first story arc.
Right.
Or 6 if they're individual or not a full story arc.
Yeah.
And honestly, so far, you know, brilliant one issue, challenging. Batgirl in 2, meh. And then you look at some of those other DCs, and there are a couple DCs that you're dropping before 6, if I recall.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Men of War, gone. Blackhawks, gone.
Yeah, Blackhawks got 1, Men of War got 2, which I'm shocked it made it to a second one.
And they're already replacing him, too.
Good. Good.
And, you know, I made a rather snarky tweet to DC Comics when they announced that this afternoon.
Did you really? What
Yeah.
did you say?
They said, and, you know, announcing the new writer on Men of War. And I'm like, will he actually get the military procedures right this fucking time? Because that irked me.
There's a lot of things to be
You know?
irked with that book. All right, so where are we next?
We're going to finish off Fear It Bloody Self.
God knows it's about time.
The last battle, the huge thing, Cap going nutsy, just shooting things left and right. Uru enchanted superheroes.
Let's
with
talk
a
about that for a
drunk-
second.
What?
Iron Man,
Yeah?
at the cost of his own soul to a degree,
Right.
goes off to create Uru enchanted armor and weapons for superheroes,
And pick up a dwarf sidekick
which no
with
one
a filthy
wants.
mouse.
But
Alf.
not a filthy mouse.
I like him. I like Split Lip.
But my point being, then he comes back and he arms
All
himself.
the heroes and himself.
No, he arms about 10.
So he arms about 10 people.
Ugh.
Oh, I hit pause somewhere and
Well-
totally fucked that up, dude.
Yeah, but on the positive side, you look better now because all these people, no, they're not armed.
Oh,
Just go
yeah,
on.
just mention it and ruin that whole benefit right
Yes.
there.
All right, but so the exact list: Iron Man, Wolverine, Spider-Man. Okay,
Shit.
obvious.
Yeah.
Group 2: Hawkeye, Iron Fist, Black Widow, and Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, I can see. She's got the power to back up that big-ass axe.
Iron Fist kind of makes. I mean, he's deadly. You know, Hawkeye, I suppose. Black Widow, not a ton of sense. And then in the bottom group, you've got Doctor Strange and Red She-Hulk.
Red She-Hulk, who barely looks like she should know how to hold her whatever the fuck that thing is.
And barely heroic, as on my understanding goes. Is
Yeah.
This close to villain.
Right?
And then we give Doctor Strange a big-ass stick to start thwacking people with? Like, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I mean, he could have had a thought balloon as like, I could cast some hardcore spells with this. Something. But no.
No, but he
So we're left to assume, like you said, that he's got to thwack people with it.
right. And let's be honest, like, if I were the Sorcerer Supreme and I needed to cast spells, I would probably not grab something Tony Stark designed to use. That seems like a bad plan. So I don't get this at all. I feel like there had to be a couple other guys. Like, who arms Doctor Strange when Luke Cage is a fucking foot away? Shang-Chi's out there somewhere. Give that dude a sword.
You're right. It makes sense. That makes a lot more sense.
All right, so then you have Cap picking up the hammer.
Which was a great moment for me. I enjoyed the shit out of that.
Now, you implied to me that that happened once before.
At least once, yeah, back in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to look it up to be certain for you, but I know it occurred. So it may even happen in Secret Wars.
So Thor falls, Odin kicks all the gods out of Asgard and shuts it down so he can hang with his dead son and his dead brother, which sounds like an awesome time. And then we get all these little asides at the end, epilogues, if you will. Sin gets her own book, which seems appalling.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to pick that up. I don't care who writes it.
Hulk and Banner split, leading to a new Hulk start. Then there's something about a dude who has information no one wants, so they get all the killers of the universe after him, like Deadpool.
Wait, which one?
Go to the third epilogue, my friend.
This is like the ending of fucking Lord of the Rings here. Alright, Sin comes back.
Boom.
Continued into Fearless. They get separated again. I'll see them.
Continued into Hulk.
And then... Battle Scars.
Yeah, that sounds tempting.
Spy wasn't wrong. Prepare the Hunters. Marcus Johnson. I don't remember hearing that name anywhere.
Nope, I have no clue what that
But
book's
let me
about.
ask you this, and this is the kind of thing that drives me nuts about fiction. How many people in your entire life have you ever met named Marcus?
None.
Exactly.
Happens all the time in comics.
I've known one.
Well, you were in the service.
Yeah, and so I met a whole lot of people from a whole lot of backgrounds. So, yeah, I met a Marcus once.
And then, let's not forget the final epilogue. The reformation of the Defenders.
I'm ready for that, though.
Really?
I'm so ready for that. Terry Dodson and Matt Fraction? Are you insane?
I didn't look at the creative team.
Yes!
That really is. All right, well then,
Yes!
fair enough. I will not argue the creative team. I stand corrected.
7.1, Captain America.
The Winter Soldier lives and will get his own book.
Yes.
And really, I just covered it all right there.
Yeah, that's all you really needed to know. There's a bunch of flashbacks and
Cap punching Nick Fury in the face.
Geis is channeling Kirby like a fucking medium.
Some solid stuff in that.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they came right the fuck out and said, look, unless you want to go back to prison, you have to be dead, okay?
Well, I like that Fury used a situation that Black Widow created and still got Cap to do what he wanted.
Yes.
That's
that
the Fury
all
I
worked
like.
out nicely.
Where are we?
So,
Now, are you excited about the Winter Soldier book?
kind of.
A 6-issue run, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as much as I like people, I worry when people split their interest between books and books. You've got Bendis doing 45, and many of them are phenomenal. So,
But even he recognizes he has limits.
yeah, but here we have somebody I love, Brubaker, going to a second book. Like, that has to be a positive.
Third, actually. He's doing Captain America and Bucky, remember?
I keep forgetting that Cap and Captain America and Bucky are separate. Although I'm not sure that that's going to continue because Captain America and Bucky keeps to be evolving into Winter Soldier, if you will.
Well, it does have a built-in time limit, really.
But they literally have gone through his whole World War II career, and the next issue for me to read, which you may or may not have read, is Winter Soldier without Cap.
They've covered the end caps.
Right.
We know how he, ended his World War II career, and we know how he began it.
Right.
But, there's billions of individual missions they could put inside of there.
No, but my point is the whole story with Captain America and Bucky has been slowly going through the timeline one issue at a time.
Yeah.
Like, they're not randomly telling stories throughout his history or building slowly. So I'm not sure that this is a longevity game here.
Well, I don't know. It's
This might become the Winter Soldier book.
That's a good point, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it could still be 2. I have no problem with the Captain America Bucky World War II book.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking the way they've done it doesn't seem to be pushing that way.
No, when you phrase it like that, you're right. It seems like it might be a setup for swapping things around once we get a good reaction on.
Yeah. Now that we're basically, but what we're doing is recreating Bucky's history and making people more comfortable with him again, so that when the Winter Soldier book comes out,
it can actually have an audience.
You know, a little Winter Soldier tidbit that I find hysterical is I was playing the original Xbox game, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game.
Yeah.
And he's a villain.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Forgot about that.
Yeah, he's teamed with the Radioactive Man.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. That was pretty cool.
All right. Well, we have a couple Marvel books left, but I think we're going to save them for the giant DC pile that we'll be doing next time.
Yeah, we'll mix them up. We'll talk about this all next week. So, quick reminder, like we mentioned last week, we're closing in on episode 100.
100.
We're going to be giving away a tremendous amount of stuff. I almost said shit. It's not shit. It's stuff.
Some of it could be shit. We don't know.
There's a huge run of 5 trades of one title. There's a couple of independent books. There's one that's even signed by the creators. I got a boatload of floppies to give you. We got bumper stickers. We got shirts. All you got to do to get in on this swag, to drop off comments on the Facebook, drop off comments on the website, talk to us on Twitter, let us know anything we said in these podcasts so we know you're listening and you exist. You'll have it.
Right in. Yeah. Tell us you introduced us to somebody.
Yeah,
that'll put you to the front of the goddamn pack.
It won't be the only qualifier. It won't be a make or break. But we might
It's
give
a
you the
plus
better
one.
stuff. It's a +1. That's right. The website is
Twitter account +1.
The places to do all this stuff are in the trailer in just a moment. Have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. Read your comics.
Oh, bless you, fuckers.
I just set up yours, baby.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. Subscribe to us through RSS, and most importantly, find us as a proud member on the Comics Podcast Network. Contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.